top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. meets German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Berlin during his working visit. A House committee approves measures seeking to revoke the legislative franchise of Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, due to alleged violations. Former President Rodrigo Duterte and daughter Vice President Sara Duterte graced the prayer rally of SMNI and supporters of religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy in Manila. And we will discover India's recent inaugural test flight of a missile equipped with the capability to carry multiple warheads. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, March 12, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Hardy Delgado. First in the news. The Department of Foreign Affairs assured the families of the 17 Filipino seafarers held hostage by Houthi rebels in Yemen that they have not been forgotten and all efforts are being exerted for their release. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, are exercising all efforts to effect the release of the 17 Filipino seafarers taken hostage by Yemen's Houthi armed group in the Red Sea last November 2023. DFA Undersecretary Eduardo De Vega said the release of Pinoy hostages may not be forthcoming as the captors' demands were political in nature.
And we're still working with friendly governments to see if they could be released. But the Houthis are consistent in their statement that it would need an end to the war in Gaza before they will release the ship or the seafarers. But at the very least, we know that the seafarers are safe.
Yusek De Vega assured the families of 17 Filipino hostages that the government continues to work for their release.
I just want to take advantage of this occasion para, to ensure the families that we haven't forgotten them. No? Ginagawa namin lahat ng magagawa, although it's really not just a Philippine issue, it's a global issue. At palaging kinakausap namin yung pamilya ng yung DMW, palaging nakikipagpulong sa mga pamilya para bigyan silang updates.
The 17 Filipino sailors belong to the 25 crew members of MB Galaxy Leader, which included Bulgaria, Mexico, and Ukraine nationals held captive by Houthi rebels who have been attacking ships plying the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said in November that his government has been doing all it can to ensure the safety of the 17 Filipino seafarers taken hostage by the rebels. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The House Committee on Legislative Franchises approves measures seeking to revoke the franchise of Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, due to alleged violations. Meanwhile, the House panel cites religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy, honorary chairperson of the network, for contempt due to his refusal to attend the House committee hearing. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The House Committee on Legislative Franchises has approved the measure seeking to revoke the legislative franchise granted to Suarezug Media Corporation, operating under the business name Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, due to alleged violations, particularly House Bill number 9710, filed by One Rider Party's Representative Rog Gutierrez. The committee report, which includes the bill, was also approved by the House Committee.
I believe that this committee has found sufficient grounds to revoke their franchise. On this note, Mr. Chair, this representation would like to move for the approval of House Bill number 9710, an act revoking the legislative franchise granted to Suarezug Media Corporation. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion. Approval of House Bill 9710.
Any second?
Second the motion, Mr.
Duly
Chair.
seconded by the Honorable Pancho. Any objections? The chair in objections. House Bill number 9710 is approved as with no amendments.
Meanwhile, the House committee cited religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy in contempt for snubbing the House panel's numerous hearings regarding the alleged franchise violations of SMNI. According to committee chairperson Parañaque Representative Gus Tambunting, Quiboloy has already received 3 invitations. The House of Representatives has also issued a subpoena against the religious group leader.
Any objections? The chair hearing no objections on a unanimous vote, the Honorable Pastor Quiboloy is cited for contempt.
Quiboloy's counsel insisted that since he is the honorary chairperson of SMNI, he is not involved in the station's daily operations in any way.
That is why precisely we are asking for a general, not a detailed line of questioning, but just the general questions under Ermita, Your Honor. There are other officials of Suarasug and SMNI who are here, Your Honor.
However, the questions of lawmakers regarding SMNI's ownership cannot be answered clearly by the representatives and officials attending the hearing.
The fact that he has not been appearing in these hearings in this committee just shows that he has no respect for this committee. It just shows that he acts like God, he acts with impunity, he takes this hearing for granted. Ipinagwawalang balahala niya, importante ho siya dito.
SMNI was initially investigated by the House after one of its program hosts, Jeffrey Celis, wrongfully claimed that House Speaker Martin Romualdez spent 1.8 billion pesos on trips last year. Succeeding hearings conducted by the House panel revealed additional possible violations of the network's franchise. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News at Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
After snubbing the Senate investigation multiple times, the Senate has issued a show-cause order against religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy. This report will tell us why. The Senate has ordered Kingdom of Jesus Christ or KOJC leader Apollo Quiboloy to explain why he should not be arrested and detained in the Senate. This after Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros, who leads the Senate investigation, issued a show-cause order to Quiboloy as approved by Senate President Juan Miguel Mig-Zubiri. The Senate has given the religious group leader 48 hours or 2 days from receipt of the order to give his reasons. The show-cause order also cited Quiboloy's refusal to attend the Senate hearings and for sending his legal counsel on his behalf without justifiable reason, which prompted the committee to cite him in contempt. Before this, Zubiri explains the issuance of the show-cause order is in accordance with a Supreme Court ruling which ensures due process to resource persons. Should Quiboloy's explanation remain lacking, the Senate President says this will trigger the issuance of an arrest order.
Pag nag-show cause order si Ma'am Risa at hindi pa rin satisfactory yung explanation, sagot, tayo talaga pumunta dito, then it is ministerial on the part of the Senate to release the issue or the arrest.
Today, March 12, marks the deadline of those who objected to the contempt order against the religious group leader initiated by Senator Robin Padilla. Hontiveros' office says they will wait until today to see if Padilla got the needed 8 signatures to reverse the contempt ruling. In yesterday's session, Padilla requested Hontiveros to issue a show-cause order against Quiboloy instead of a contempt order, citing Quiboloy's safety and right to due process. Jorlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, India has recently conducted the inaugural test flight of a missile equipped with the capability to carry multiple warheads, marking a significant milestone in the country's ongoing development of its missile technology. This advancement comes as India continues to enhance its military capabilities. particularly in response to its escalating rivalry with China. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a successful test flight of the domestically produced missile featuring multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle or MIRV technology. The missile belongs to the Agni series, named after the Sanskrit term for fire, which has been under development since 1983. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh highlighted India's achievements, stating that the country has now joined a select group of nations possessing this advanced missile technology. Countries such as the United States, United Kingdom, France, China, and Russia are already known to possess MIRV missiles, with Pakistan having conducted a test of similar technology in 2017, as reported by the Washington-based Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation. The missile system was developed by India's Defense Research and Development Organization, showcasing the country's technological prowess in the military sector. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Auralyn. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Former President Rodrigo Duterte and Vice President Sara Duterte attended the last day of prayer rally of SMNI and the supporters of religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy in Manila. Dante Amento will tell us why live. Yes, Dante, good evening.
Good evening, Harleen. In today's prayer rally conducted by the Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, and supporters of religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy, some former and incumbent government officials have attended the program. Vice President Sara Duterte arrived first, though she did not speak or give a message before the crowd. Before 8 o'clock tonight, former President Rodrigo Duterte arrived here at Diwasang Bonifacio in Manila. With him are Senators Christopher Lawrence Bongo, Ronald De La Rosa, and Robin Hood Padilla. Former presidential spokesman Harry Roque and former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo also arrived earlier. Senator De La Rosa said they came over to show support to Quiboloy. Meanwhile, former President Duterte urged the public to be vigilant, especially that the Marcos administration is allegedly now trying to amend the Constitution. Duterte said the current regime's main objective is to extend their term through charter change. He also emphasized that if any provision of the Constitution will be touched, the whole Constitution itself is now open for amendment. And that's our latest live from Manila. Back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Dante Amento, reporting live from Manila. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, will implement provisional deputization among local traffic enforcers. JP Nunez will tell us why.
In response to the Supreme Court's decision prohibiting local traffic law enforcers to issue violation ticket to erring motorists, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, will implement provisional deputization among them. It was a decision made based on the inputs of the Metro Manila mayors during the emergency meeting held earlier today, March 12.
Ang immediate solution namin ay mag-provisional deputization, pero subject later on sa compliance doon sa requirements po para maging full deputization ng traffic enforcers.
According to MMDA, it will take time to deputize a traffic personnel. As compared to the local government unit's qualifications, deputized MMDA personnel who may issue tickets should be at least attained second-year college, attended 72 units of seminars and trainings, and able to pass the exam. If these qualifications will be imposed immediately, few enforcers from local governments will be qualified. This would also mean anarchy to motorists if there will be no traffic law enforcement who will apprehend them once they violate traffic laws.
We need time to be able to recruit new personnel. Halimbawa, yung mga existing namin na traffic enforcers, kung isa-isahin ko sila,
at alamin kung sino dito ang pasok nga sa current criteria, baka marami sa kanila ay hindi mag-qualify.
Ang problema natin, katulad sa Pateros alone, ay marami kaming mga job order employees, particularly sa traffic enforcement. So kung strictly i-implement na natin kaagad yan, yung standard requirement, ay maraming hindi madedeputize sa isang local government unit.
Furthermore, the Metro Manila Council and the MMDA will no longer file motion for reconsideration on the Supreme Court's decision.
We will no longer file an MR.
Option po ng mga LGUs mag-file ng motion for reconsideration. So kung sakaling magdedesisyon po ang mga LGUs na mag-file nga po ng MR, this will be done individually by the LGUs.
Instead, individual LGUs may decide on their own. 3 LGU has declared their intent, including Makati, Manila, and Mandaluyong. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine National Police has sounded the alarm regarding a concerning surge in cases of hijack profile scams, also known as identity theft. These scams involved unauthorized access to specific social media accounts, which are then exploited for illegal activities, such as soliciting financial assistance under false pretenses. According to Police Colonel Jean Fajardo, Chief of the PNP Public Information Office, the PNP data reveals a troubling trend. In the last 4 months, from November 2023 to February 2024, a staggering 178 cases of identity theft have been recorded, with 89 cases reported in February alone.
Alarming in the sense, ma'am, na tumataas po siya at one of the challenges po talaga na mention na natin before, ang hirap po talagang i-trace nitong mga ito kasi we are facing nameless and faceless criminals hiding their identity behind a cell phone or even computer para ma-hack po yung mga accounts po ng ating mga kababayan.
In response to this growing threat, the PNP urges the public to exercise caution when sharing personal information online. They emphasize the importance of using strong and unique passwords for social media accounts. Additionally, individuals are advised against clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown sources to mitigate the risk of falling victim to hijack profile scams. The powerful Commission on Appointments, or CA, has deferred the confirmation of a Philippine Army official following an opposition from his spouse. The wife of Brigadier General Ranulfo Sevilla trooped to the Senate to oppose his promotion due to alleged abuse and refusal to provide financial support to his children.
Nilulunok na nga namin yung walang sustento, kulang na sustento. Nakukuha pang mambabae. Buntis ako, tinulak po ako. Akala ko makukunan ako, kaya nagpa-protection order ako. Tapos sabi ng korte sa'yo, magbigay ka ng sustento. 2014 sa Philippine Army. Hindi po nila pinutupad yung sustento, yung pagpapatira sa amin sa kampo. Kasi nga daw, tao nga daw nila yun. And that kind of person na nang-o-oppress ng tao, lalo na ng mga kababaihan, ng mga nanay, ng mga naging anak niya, ng mga batang inosente, hindi niya deserve ma-provoke.
Sevilla declined to comment on the allegations, citing a court gag order. Senate President Juan Miguel Migzabiri says Sevilla is ordered to fulfill his obligations to his family and submit necessary documents to prove such. The Senate leader emphasizes the importance of having good character of government officials and appointees as they undergo scrutiny by the Commission.
Lahat ng mag-a-apply dito sa Commission on Appointments should be of good moral character. Hindi sapat yung performance record nyo bilang kawani ng gobyerno. Lalo na sa mga appointees for secretaries, kailangan of good moral character. Kasi mabubusisi yan na lahat eh.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRMC, has reported that the toll of the El Nino phenomenon on agriculture nationwide has amounted to over 1.23 billion pesos. This devastation has extended across more than 26,000 hectares of crop area, impacting the livelihoods of over 29,000 farmers and fisher folks. In response to this crisis, the Department of Agriculture has taken swift action, allocating over 360 million pesos to aid those affected in the agricultural sector. Additionally, the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation has contributed more than 42 million pesos in assistance. Amidst these challenges, the Philippine Weather Bureau PAGASA remains vigilant and is closely monitoring the impending La Nina, which they expect to manifest in the month of June. Troubling developments unfold as water levels in various dams in Luzon persistently decline, attributed to the formidable influence of the El Nino phenomenon. This necessitates a halt in water allocations for irrigation purposes, as resources must be managed prudently in response to the diminishing water supply. Jed Neresina details why.
As temperatures soar, Luzon faces a mounting crisis. Water levels in its dams are dwindling below the usual mark.
Patuloy yung pagbaba ng ating mga dams, yung mga major dams natin dito sa Luzon.
In response, allocations to residential and commercial areas are being curtailed, with irrigation from certain dams set to cease.
For Magat Dam, nag-announce sila na by April hanggang May, so wala silang allocation for irrigation. So ang mangyayari niyan is yung power generation na lang ang gagawin ng Magat Dam sa ngayon.
The plight extends to key reservoirs like San Roque and Pantabangan Dam, where water levels dip below the expected standard, adding to the urgency of this situation.
Mababawasan yung generation niya, yung power generation. And that is for San Roque Dam. And for Pantabangan Dam is mababawasan din yung generation and yung supply for irrigation dahil mababa na rin sila.
Amidst this uncertainty, the State Weather Bureau PAGASA pins its hope on the arrival of La Nina in June. This weather phenomenon could potentially replenish water reserves across the nation's dam, offering a glimmer of relief. However, the outcome hinges on timely rainfall. Without immediate precipitation, the downward trajectory of water levels may persist, necessitating further reductions in water allocations for consumers. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, the Texas A&M Forest Service has announced that the Smokehouse Creek fire, which became the largest fire in Texas state history at the end of February, is now under control. Annie Mencilia will give us the details live. Yes, Annie, good evening.
Oralin, the Smokehouse Creek fire, which has engulfed nearly 486,000 hectares of land within days at the end of February, has now been largely contained. According to the Texas A&M Forest Service, the fire was 89% contained since Monday, March 11. However, the hot, dry conditions in Panhandle threatened to fuel the blaze, resulting in red flag warnings. Based on the report from the National Weather Service, or NWS, red flag warnings for wildfire risks are also in place for southern and central parts of the United States, particularly New Mexico, Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Wyoming. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has declared a state of disaster in 60 countries. Meanwhile, Xcel Energy admitted in a statement last week that its equipment may have sparked the fire. Locals also point the blame on the Texan Power Company, claiming that strong winds blew a wooden utility pole near the Stinnett town, then set fire to dry grass and bush. The cause of the fires remain under investigation, with Xcel Energy cooperating and also conducting its own review. Back to you, Arlen.
Thank you, Annie. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announces status of the front lines of Ukraine, saying that it's better than the past 3 months. Paul Gatchalian tells us why.
Yesterday, March 11, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky reported that the Russian troops have not been able to advance after acquiring the city of Avdiivka, stating it was the best it's been the past 3 months. President Zelensky disclosed the nation's improvement in their strategic positions amidst their shortages in weaponry and difficulties due to air blockades and Russia's long-range and drone attacks. Prior to the capture of Avdiivka, Russian troops were able to have breathing room to defend a regional center 12 kilometers to the east, though not much progress by Russia has been made as a result of Ukraine's improved position. The city, however, has been bombarded for months by Russia, and now it remains a leveled land and cannot be considered as a city, President Zelensky added in a statement. Meanwhile, Ukraine has been able to take down Russian aircrafts and have successfully developed 3 lines of fortification across their territory of over 1,000 kilometers. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. Give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Oralyn Quijano, live from Toronto, Canada. Good evening.
President Ferdinand Marcos. Amidst the darkness, a beacon of hope emerges, a safe and reliable source of drinking water. These are just a few of the responses from the Members Church of God International in collaboration with the Camarines Norte Police Provincial Office in the Bicol region, addressing the long-standing issue faced by our fellow countrymen. Kath Damaraos reports.
Nilalakad namin, madilim dito sa lugar namin. Gasera lang ang gamit namin.
In Barangay Dagit, Labo, Camarines Norte, Bicol, the dark roadways have become all too familiar to Aling Alice Martinez as she navigates her way home late at night. This challenge is shared by many who endure the lengthy commute to school or work, departing in darkness and returning in darkness. Compounded by the fact that their barangay is 40 kilometers away from the town center, they remain beyond the reach of electricity lines.
May anak akong college, umaalis siya ng maaga sa Talisay pa po nag-aaral. Ano pa po namin siya kasi sobrang dilim po talaga, nakakakaba bilang isang ina po.
Yung pong takot at pangamba po ng mga barangay ng Purok 1 sapagkat nahihirapan po sila kapag po uuwi galing trabaho or galing paaralan or papasok ng umagang-umaga ang mga estudyante dahil po sa kadiliman.
This makes their journeys hazardous and sometimes leading to accidents.
Dito mismo sa ilog na to, may mga nahuhulog na mga motor, tricycle kasi nga walang ilaw, lalo pag gabi kasi delikado nga talagang daan.
This plight echoes in other barangays nestled in mountainous regions like Bagong 1, Bagong Silang 2, Dagit, Exquiban, and Dumagmang.
May mga tropa na po tayo, mga pulis na mga namatay na sa pag-atake ng mga CTG o community terrorist group. Tapos yung presence po talaga ng New People's Army is talagang nandyan siya.
Meanwhile, in Barangay Macogon, Labo, Camarines Norte, the lack of access to safe and clean drinking water poses yet another pressing concern for residents.
Na yung kanilang problema sa hindi maayos na tubig, ng supply ng tubig at natatakot sila na baka kung anong mangyari sa kanilang mga anak dahil yung kinukuhaan nila ng tubig ay dumudumi dahil lalo na pag maulan. Napapasok na ng tubig ulan, ng putik, yung kanilang pinagkukunan ng tubig.
These challenges faced by our fellow countrymen prompted Camarines Norte Police Provincial Office Director Police Colonel Joselito Villarosa Jr. to seek assistance from Kuya Daniel Razon during his visit to Camp Simeon Ola in Legazpi City, Albay last October 11, 2023. This morning marked a significant milestone as 50 solar street lights were formally turned over across 5 barangays alongside the restoration of potable water sources in Barangay Macogon, Labo, Camarines Norte. This initiative was spearheaded by Mr. Public Service Kuya Daniel Razon, the overall servant of the members, Church of God International, and Police Colonel Joselito Villarosa Jr., the Provincial Director of Camarines Norte PPO, in collaboration with all district directors of the 12 municipal police stations across the province. For several weeks, volunteers from MCGI and police officers from Camarines Norte PPO worked tirelessly to make this initiative possible. The residents expressed their profound gratitude as what was once a dark and worrisome night is now illuminated with joy and hope.
Kaya nga nakakatuwa at nakaka-proud na yun yung motto nyo na tulong muna bago balita.
Maraming salamat po sa Diyos at naging maayos po siya po ang naging daan para maging maayos po ang iniinom mo namin tubig.
Taos-puso pong ako nagpapasalamat sa MCGI, kundi po dahil po sa inyo, yung mga ugong-ugong ng aming mga kapurok dahil dito sa madilim na ito ay nabigyan po ng MCGI ng liwanag. Nakakatuwa na ang MCGI ay nagbibigay ng liwanag sa mga barangay.
Simultaneously, alongside the turnover ceremony, a free medical, dental, and optical mission was held at Camp Wenceslao Vincent's in Daet, Camarines Norte. Attendees received free medication, vitamins, eyeglasses, massages, haircuts for men, and even free meals and groceries. Moreover, 10 wheelchairs and 10 canes were distributed to those in need among our fellow countrymen.
Your dedication to serving our community and your willingness to extend a helping hand to our PNP personnel truly exemplify the spirit of compassion and unity. Lagi po ako nagpapasalamat sapagkat kayo lamang po sa MCGI ang nakaalala sa PNP organization ng aming kalusugan, ang aming dentals, at iba pang pangangailangan kasama po ang aming pamilya. Nasanay na po kasi ang kapulisan na kami po ang lagi nagseserbisyo papunta po sa bayan. Kaya maraming salamat sa Diyos. Merong nakaalala sa amin at tayo naman ngayon sa kapulisan ang inaalagaan para tingnan ang ating kalusugan, 10 ng aming pamilya. Kaya maraming salamat po sa inyo. Hindi po namin po ito makakalimutan.
Sa lahat ng mga bagay, magpasalamat tayo sa Diyos. Ang sabi po ni St. Paul sa 5:18 ng Thessalonians. Sa lahat ng mga bagay, magpasalamat kayo sapagkat ito ang kalooban ng Diyos kay Kristo tungkol sa inyo. Kaya po, ang aming laging sinasabi, huwag po kayo sa amin magpasalamat. Pasalamat po tayo sa Diyos na pinanggagalingan ng lahat ng kabutihan. Kami ay maliit na kasangkapan lamang upang makarating sa inyo ang kabutihan ng Panginoon. Ito'y aming pananampalataya, hindi para kami po ay tumanggap ng anumang bagay in return mula sa inyo. Dahil kami po'y nagsisikap na mag-advocate ng kapayapaan, sumunod sa batas, maging isang mabuting mamamayan, at huwag maging sakit ng ulo ng lipunan, kundi maging bahagi ng pagmamalasakit sa ating mga kapwa-tao na nangangailangan. Yan po ang daladalang prinsipyo ng members ng Church of God International. At yun po ang sagot kung bakit ito ay aming ginagawa. Dahil yun po ang gusto ng Diyos, yun ang nasa kasulatan, yun ang aral ng Diyos, kung ibig nating i-practice ang true religion. And we just hope na hindi lamang po ang liwanag sa kalsada, hindi lamang ang tubig na maiinom natin ang aming maihatid sa inyo kung hindi ang tunay na liwanag at ang tunay na tubig at ang tunay na pagkain ng ating mga kaluluwa.
Kat Maraos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is now in Berlin, Germany for his working visit. Upon his arrival, the president was accorded the customary arrival honors, highlighting the respect and recognition of his presence in the host country. Scheduled on his agenda is a meeting with the German chancellor. From Berlin, Germany, Gerard Moral will give us the details live. Yes, Gerard, good evening.
Yes, hi. On his inaugural day of working visit, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. lands at the German Chancellery in Berlin, the capital city. As he steps onto the grounds, the president is accorded arrival honor. Inside the Chancellery, he is scheduled to hold discussions with Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who serves not only as the Chancellor, but also as the head of the German government. Together, they aim to delve into discussions surrounding the fortification of bilateral relations between the two countries. President Marcos is scheduled to meet the Filipino community 7 p.m. local time. Tomorrow at 11, he is scheduled to meet the media. And at 5 p.m., he will depart Berlin, Germany for his state visit in Prague, Czech Republic. That is our live report here in Berlin, Germany. Back to you, Herlene.
Thank you, Gerard Moral, reporting live from Berlin, Germany. And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7, it says, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart." And those are the reasons behind the news March 12, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Hardin Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.